Previously on Ready to Die. Nah, I'm fucking with y'all. I haven't been able to do a podcast because I've been wanting guests, but I guess I gotta do the shit myself, man. Sometimes when you want things done, you gotta do it yourself. I'm looking for a woman, preferably, to be on the podcast as a recurring guest. To give the woman's perspective on things, because men can't really speak on women's shit too much, too much. You only know to an extent. I've been, damn. What's been going on with me? I'm back in the gym. I'm getting my mind right. Every Wednesday I got therapy. That's been going crazy. I said crazy. That's been going good. I hate saying I really starting off on. I hate starting off my podcast saying I guess we get to the shits and giggles. Like it's really like I don't really have no excuse for this type of time that I take off. But with that being said, I guess we got a lot of things to talk about. I've been on Instagram Live and I've been talking about my dating experiences. I think dating over 30 is just ghetto. Cause you specifically you at this place where immediately you turn 30, you're too old to do young shit and too young to do old shit. So it's a very confusing place as an age. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to chill on the block and just talk to chicks all day. You know what I'm saying? That's walking by. Clubs and shit like that. It's like depending on the club, you'll go. So it's really taking into account like, yo, 30 is my age. It ain't really got nothing to do with the body as far as like getting like feeling sore or too old. Like it's really more of the mental. It's like the mental attraction. So I'm coming from a place of going through like a tragic last year. A bad breakup, in which I have to talk about this because this is gonna be some deep shit. I'm coming from a bad breakup in which we agreed to get back together and whatever the case may be, and I found some shit and then it went down from there. It was downhill. It got very tragic and dark for me. So you talking to a different Corey. This ain't the Corey from last year. Like when I look back at that person specifically, I'm just taking y'all through my journey. When I look back at that person specifically, that I didn't know that during that time of like when you catch somebody like creeping and shit like that it would strike the type of insecurities in me. Like I did a lot of crying, I did a lot of begging, I did a lot of like fighting to be with someone and etc. last year. Like it was like I never seen that side of me and I never even knew that side of me. So when you're a black man, you just like so emotionally suppressed by society telling you men don't cry or men don't have emotions, and then men not acknowledging the fact that they're going through depression. I think that with all of that suppression is just like it's still inside as a little boy that can be activated. A lot of times this little boy is activated by like our upbringing of things that our mom did, things that our father said, or our father not being there, and you tend to like have this crazy ass suppression of subscribing to man shit to the point that you hide your emotion as far as liking somebody, and it's to a place that sometimes as a man you feel like you just fucking dying slow. Like I'm working these two jobs to have money to impress women or to later on get a girlfriend, and I'm just working my ass off. While it depends on the modern day woman today, they don't feel like 50-50 is a thing. In New York, rent is high, so 50-50 can be a thing. It's just like it feels like you unappreciated. I'm not saying like from past experiences. I'm just saying like as a man, like you feel like your life then at certain points revolve around a woman, and I think the women might feel the same. Like I could go get my degree, I could go get my a job, but I think I'm incomplete without a man, and it's like. You tend to live your life like that. And when you tend to live your life like that, you subscribe to certain things that's detrimental to self. Like being alone is like this bad thing, or this lonely, or you lonely, or you don't want to be attracted to people. And I think that people have to be in certain spaces in life to be alone to really take accountability of yourself. I know I'm going on a tangent, but I'm just telling you this whole transition through 30. So I I found myself just in deep depressions that I didn't speak about. I wanted to, like, I before, like, at 30 May 2nd, I turned 30 May 2nd. I came to this ceiling, this fucking place where I felt like the ceiling was, I was too big for this apartment. And when I mean like a mental apartment, physical apartment, like I just felt like I was just like too big for that shit. So I didn't want to go to therapy during the depression or last year because I felt like I would have been defensive. Like, no, but this person is doing this. And I wouldn't take accountability in my things. Even though, like, when I was speaking to people, I took accountability in a lot of shit. I just think that a therapist at that time would trigger me to the point I wouldn't want to learn. Like, I just wouldn't want to learn. I'll probably rebuttal they shit and talk back and etc. And just didn't put myself in a place of learning. And I think that's something that I had to really learn. So I guess I think June I started. June I just made the decision, if I'm going to be a better friend, a better future husband, a better cousin, a better son, I have to go to another level. I got to go to another level of appreciating this life shit. I got to go to another level of understanding. I got to go to another level of patience. I don't know what happened on May 2nd, 2021. I was just done with it. Like, I just needed, all right, I'm here. What's the next step? Because I took January to May to do the healing and do the accountability. And I found myself not knowing how to love. What I mean by that is that I think black people, in a sense specifically, we love, but pain has to come with it. And my thing is, why do we have to subscribe to pain, then making it to a loving point? Like a person could do some fucked up shit to you. Like, even in friendships, a person could do some fucked up ass shit to you, and then you like, oh yeah, I forgive you because I love you. I love you because I gave you another chance. So why does pain have to fucking happen for us to experience love? So this whole year, like, I had to reprogram myself. I went to a place I was no longer Corey Cash. Like, if you look at me in January, I wasn't Corey Cash. I was Cornell. Like, I was just Cornell, no ego. The shit was gone, because you wouldn't think in a relationship how when your insecurities are stricken and is triggered, how it can just erase you and knock you off your equilibrium. Like, just in totality, like sex, mentality, emotion. So I didn't want to be in this place of just standing there in the beginning of the year and hurting women because I was hurt. So I put myself in a position, and I tried the little dating shit, and I found myself, like, I'm not trying to be funny, and I'm gonna be transparent, like being like extremely aggressive during sex, and like trying to damn near hurting women, like in the physical, not like slapping them and shit like that, just being rough when every girl don't like it like your last joint, cause you know what I'm saying, you still fucking one person at that time. So I found myself sexually just off. I found myself physically, the weight I gained in a relationship, off. I found myself having no swag. I found myself having no money. Because when I came into this year, I was extremely broke. I had like $0 in the bank. My shit was like negative $200. I didn't have shit. Like, I went through a real traumatic experience, like, just to get to the person that you're talking to today. Like, you couldn't talk to me about this in May because it probably would trigger me. I probably would cry. I probably would be angry. But you're talking to a more mature and understanding person because of therapy. And I just want to tell black men that our life has been dark. Like, we've seen shootouts. We've seen our mothers get beat. We've seen abusive relationships, whether friends or family. We've seen our best friends get killed. We've seen our family members get killed. We've seen daddy go to jail. We've seen daddy smoke crack. We've seen mama smoke crack. I think it's time, like, after all that traumatic experience that you witness, either with your eyes or ears, it's time to, like, go to therapy and just let this shit go. And another thing that people don't talk about, and why a lot of black men are the way they are, and not me specifically, have been molested and raped, and they not allowed to speak about that because manhood has this ideal or this symbolic meaning of power. And once you, as a young boy, get power stripped away from you, you're angry at the fucking world. And that's why rape is continuous, and rape is like this thing that men keep doing, because they do it to young people, and those people do it to people, and then it's a continuing thing. And I don't want to be insensitive to nobody that's listening to the podcast. If I offend you, I apologize. I don't want to be insensitive to no rape or sexual assault victims. But I'm just saying, like, those type of suppressions can cause somebody to be a maniac, can cause somebody to be crazy. You got to understand, it's like your brain is like a fucking memory card. You can't overload your memory card. And with those type of, with all those problems that black men face, and I can include black women in that, and as well, black men, we specifically have to go to therapy. So my first session of therapy, and I remember it vivid like it was yesterday, she said, well, how do you handle being angry? And I said, I shut down. Why do you shut down? That's not good. You should be able to talk about it when you angry. Like, you should be able to speak when you angry. You should not be on silence mode or be dismissive or ignore somebody that's trying to have a conversation with you because you're angry. Like, you should never do that. So after that first session, I played a lot of situations in my head, and where my MO, and my man has said this, my man Julius, I've been in the podcast, he said, yo, your MO is when you get tight, you don't speak. I said, you know what? So he's like, that's why people react to you a certain way. So my MO have been to speak when I'm angry, right? So I could be angry as shit, like angry as shit. And I'd be like, yo, listen, I'm angry right now, but I would like to talk through this. And when I said that shit to a woman recently, like even like 3-4 months ago, I was like, damn, look at the growth, look at the shit that therapy is doing. Cause I want to have conversation that's progressive. I no longer want to be the bad boy that you like. I don't want to be the toxic nigga that's overspilling his feelings and being emotional about every move and nitpicking at every move that you do, because just for the sake of you liking me. I'm no longer attracted to toxicness. I like peace and not chaos. That unnecessary drama, that shit is just out my life. And for me to go back to even activate that person fucking hurts. Like, that shit is not somebody I can go get and then I'm just happy with it. So, and another thing I found myself doing is I perform very well in gray areas with women. Like, we can fuck, we can go out, you can spend the night at my house, you can meet my moms, and I don't, and when the moment you ask me what are we, I get an attitude. The moment you ask me what we are, I get a fucking attitude. And I no longer, after therapy, I no longer wanted to be in that area, because that was a big trait that I did in my previous relationship. And this is some accountability for your ass. I was living with somebody and I couldn't tell them what we are because of my scared of commitment, and I'm scared of embarrassment. I'm not really scared of committing. I'm scared of being embarrassed, like extremely. And I think in past, the times I've been vulnerable and the times I've gave women that girlfriend title, I could have been projecting with my last two women. And I apologize to one. I haven't apologized to the most recent one because I'm not at that place of forgiveness because of how I felt I was done at the end. But my last two women, I didn't give them the title that they wanted. If you're gonna be fucking me and you're gonna be living in that, we gonna be living in together, you should at least have a title or understand where we going. And I think that was very toxic of me, playing in a gray area like that. Like, I don't understand where I get it from, why, but it was just a sense of embarrassment, and I couldn't articulate myself to that point. And especially when you articulate yourself to somebody that's probably like sensitive, it's you walking the fine line of offending them. And it's like, I couldn't find a way to say that shit. Like, I'm being honest as a man, and like, you might look at me wrong or whatever the case may be, because I could talk about it today as a grown man, but I couldn't do it. And I think it's just previous letdown. I just think that in the past, girls have broken up with me, like, off of one mistake. It's a whole bunch of shit. And I think that I just didn't want that embarrassment again, bro. I didn't want that embarrassment again. And I just think that those two women, they asked legit questions that I didn't have answers. So they went and found love in other places. because I couldn't give him a concrete answer on where we stood. And I think that's something that men need to speak about. I think we need to be more vocal about our emotions, more vocal about like creating a space of security, of reinsurance for the women that we tend to date or seek longevity with. I think we need to provide those places and speak on it more. I think that's very important. So when we fast forward back to therapy, I learned that that was my another toxic trait. So I started to build on these toxic traits, and as therapy started to go along, my therapist said, "Yo, if you cannot contain yourself with the mere fact of your ex's name, then you don't need to be in a relationship." I agreed with her, so I started to work on myself even more. So I get on dating apps, and I find myself in a place of maturity or a better understanding of life. Like, if the conversation, like I said, the conversation cannot be progressive. I can't sit there and have it like, if we had a disagreement, right? And you insult me, my therapist wants me to tell you that I was offended by it. But I believe I should cut you off because I don't feel like that was warranted during like the exchange. I wasn't insulting you. You came at me. So I've had to cut girls for insulting me. I have situations where I was talking to a girl, she was on FaceTime, and she was like, "Yo, you live with your mom? Da da da. Do you plan on getting out? Do you plan on leaving?" And that question comes in, and you shouldn't get offended as a man. But then it started to later get into the bag of, "Oh, I hope you ain't sleeping on the floor." Like, what? And this is a black woman saying this to me. And it's the stereotypical, "Oh, he's a mama's boy, so he dirty, he don't wash up." Just that ghetto image that shorty tried to paint on me, and I found that very like offensive. So I had to tell her, like, after that I just showed her my room. I continued with the conversations just to prove her wrong, that every dude that living with their moms, or let me speak on living with your moms. First of all, it's not a bad thing. I had to come back to square one to recreate who the fuck I was. That's one for me. Two, if you can help your moms out with the bills and you comfortable in the space you are, my nigga, do it, bro. Don't try to get a fucking apartment to impress these motherfuckers on Instagram that ain't got their own, or that got their own, that's fucking struggling, living check to check. Don't impress these niggas, bro. Be 40 and live with, as long as you paying the bills and you comfortable, you can have company, you can spend the night, and you could walk out naked and whatever you want to do, ladies and gentlemen. Don't walk out naked, but walk in your boxes and have a woman in there, whatever the case may be. Don't let this fucking internet shit fool you. Don't let this internet shit fool you. Sometimes you gotta go and live with your mom to you. Sometimes, bro, we don't get to say goodbye to our parents, bro. We move out and we don't have those conversations. At least I got the accessibility to talk to my moms about like certain and deep shit. And during the time I was dating my last girlfriend, I didn't have a relationship with my moms. Imagine she would have died, bro. I was already in depression. Imagine what I would have went through. So don't try to get no fucking apartment to approve. Now, it is an adult thing to handle bills, but do it when you can afford it. Don't do it for the sake of struggling to show other niggas you're struggling. If you could do it, do it. But back to the situation. So the dating experience, I had to show her like niggas ain't living like that, just so she won't be stereotypical to the next black man, because I felt like even the insinuation of like niggas being mama's boy or whatever she was trying to say was like quite offensive. I could have took extreme offense to it, but I told her like how I felt, like, yo, delete my number and block me. Then I went on a date with this girl, and she was a drinker, like a heavy fucking drinker. We kicked it. It was dope. I just think after the date she had fun, and she had fun. We both had fun, whatever the case may be. And then we started chopping it up, and she was like, "Yo, I'm just in too much of a toxic place to even engage in anything else." Like, boom, boom, boom. And then it's just been a repetitiveness of not understanding. I had this girl that disappeared on me, and like girls would like. I'm just bringing up situations. I just telling you that 30 is just this repetitive trial run for me. That is just horrible. And I guess I don't really get mad at this trial and error shit because I don't really get mad at this trial and error shit because when I get to a point when I find a woman that has the same level of understanding than me, I mean, not a better or same understanding as me, I'll grow and I'll appreciate her more because of all the errors I had before I got there. Or maybe it's the universe telling you you're not ready right now. Like, you not ready. You not fully healed. When you fully healed, I'll give you the one. Maybe it could be that. Just be optimistic about your dating experience, 30-year-old. Talking to the 30-year-old. Be optimistic. Don't be pessimistic about your dating experience right now. Just understand this. Maybe you need to put yourself in different areas. Because my therapist was telling me that. Do you do this and do you do that? Like, do you go out here? Do you go out there? So I start putting myself in different areas to mingle with different women. Not on a dating apps. I wanted to go to the bar. I started doing stand-up comedy. So I started reading and bumping shoulders with different women. And I'm just going with the course as it goes, to be honest with you. So it's just extremely hard because it's like at 30, as a 30-year-old man, you're like, damn, I ain't got no kids. What legacy am I leaving? When I get a girlfriend, am I trying to, like, do we have the conversation about kids early in the game? Do we have the conversation about kids later on in the game? Like, the clock is ticking as for men. And, physicals fade away. You got to keep yourself in shape. I even learned as a 30-year-old, I'm not all right. So I'm just going to tell you because my dating experience has been tragic. But another situation, right? I was talking to this girl from Alabama, whatever the case may be. I'm saying talking. This is all Texas. I never met these women in person. Until we get to a level of comfortability and then I choose to meet. And she was just like, yo, she's like, yeah, you know what I'm interested in when I get chased? Like, I want a man to chase me and make me feel like a woman. I was like, the conversation struck because she was like, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with you, like if I want to fuck you or if I want to cuff you, and etc. So I'm like, okay, but who said I want to fuck? She was like, oh, well, you right. So then we started talking, and she was like, yeah, I want to be chased and all that. I think that's a red flag. If you got to tell a man you want to be chased, he should just naturally be courting you. So she says that, and I said, yo, I could do all the chasing for you, but then I don't, like, what do I get out of it? Pussy. She said, pussy? I said, pussy don't do nothing for me. It don't. I could fuck you with no emotion. I could fuck you, could get up and go home and go about your day. What does pussy really do for me at age 30? It relieves temporary stress that come right back, and then like, what does it do? And it's not even that. Yes, you can have women that serve that purpose. Of course, I've had during this time. I've had women that just want to engage in that. But if you want to engage in that, then make that your thing. But if you're talking about, and the women that have engaged in that with me specifically just wanted that. But if you're talking about you want to be pursued, then what is the exchange? You get the courtship and the appreciation as a woman and get the chase as a woman, but then in exchange you just give me pussy, and every woman has a pussy. What about you makes them different? It makes you different. And I think that's that entitlement shit, bro. That's the entitlement shit that women feel as a woman, like, you should chase me because I have a pussy. It's nothing other than that. It's never I'm loyal, I got a dope personality. I need some water, but it's never those things. It's never the characteristic of personalities that you list. It's always because I got a pussy I need to be chasing. It's like that shit not moving men no more. At 30, at 20 you could get away with that. You give me niggas ears was rising like dogs. Pussy, like, niggas is running to it. But at age 30, it's like every girl has a pussy. I'm at it. Like, we've had passes. You know what I'm saying? You get to, as a young man, you start to be promiscuous and you start to learn that fucking a lot of chicks, it just leave you empty inside. So it's like at 30, I don't want to do that shit. Like, are you a dope vibe? Like, even if we all gonna fuck, are you a dope vibe? Like, when you come, what kind of energy do you bring? Do you bring, like, are you willing to play games? Are you willing to educate me on something? Like, are we gonna watch something together? No, you just telling me pussy. And then on top of that, the sexual, like, the libido and all of that of a man and stuff like that, it has to be activated. It's not like 20 years old you can rub a nigga thigh and the nigga get hard. It's like you got to be some type of mental connection in this shit, like some sapiosexual shit. Like, you just can't come around a nigga and just be like, oh, because you got a pussy, I'm hard. When you provide that type of dope personality, a nigga will get instantly hard for you. You can't just be like, I got a pussy and just here. Like, when I tell you, and this is for my niggas that's in relationships, don't come to, like, my biggest adjustment and the reason why dating at 30 is so hard for me specifically as a man is because when I got into a relationship in 2018, modern women wasn't a thing. When I got out of a relationship, modern women is a thing. So now you have women that feel like they play the game like niggas. So now you just sitting here watching black men and black women beef and tell niggas this is 50-50 and want to kill patriarchy, want to kill gender roles, and you just sitting here like, fuck, before I left it was gender roles. All right, I'll take the adjustment. And then you looking at the adjustment, now you trying to find the one. Well, oh, now if you ain't got this and that, you can't date them and shit like that. And women got standards, and which is fine, but it's like a lot of y'all standards is unrealistic because the men that y'all want with the hammer, the big hammer, the money and the car and our own house, they don't want you. Everybody, I'm starting to notice that in this dating world, everybody's chasing somebody that don't want them. Like, literally, look at it. Everybody's chasing somebody that don't want them. The niggas want the bad bitches want the niggas with the money. The niggas that want the bad bitches are not the niggas with the money. The niggas with the money want the bitches that got a lot of money and that are bad. And I got this shit together. They not paying attention to the niggas with, because you got peanuts. What do you really bring to the table? Like, women with money just want the emotional connection. I want you here. I got my own money. And a lot of the niggas with all three or all four of those things are insecure because if they can't be used as a man in a relationship, then they become insecure about it. Like, damn, I have no place for, like, I it's no placement for me in her life. She has everything. They don't understand that the women just want the emotional connection. They want the compatibility. They want the compassion. They want the talking to them. They want the reassurance. And niggas that have, that's what I'm trying to say. We all chasing things that don't want us. And it's sad. Because we sitting in here and creating standards. And I noticed this slick loophole in standards is that you wouldn't have to set a standard if you already in that field, right? I wouldn't be a lawyer that's saying I need a chick that's a lawyer. If I'm a lawyer, I will be around women that make money. So you wouldn't hear me say I need a chick that. So we all in fields of people, we in playing in the wrong fields. You need to get to the field that you want with the those people are partying. You gonna rub shoulders with them when you get there. You don't ask for it. You get there, and when you get there, you attract that person. So that's the loophole in standards. Everybody want to walk around with their chest out that are 30 years old, 20, 29, and want to tell nigga, oh, I need a nigga like this. I need a chick like this. You are not in the field of those people, and that's why you don't come across those people. And when you do come across those people, you know what you find out? That they're just human. A lot of those people are not emotionally available. A lot of those people got mommy and daddy issues. A lot of those people, this is life. The money don't change the human. We all through. What you think motivated the person to go get the money? They coming from poverty neighborhoods. They coming from situations where they were poor. And they want the money. But they not understanding the whole time that the money never made them happy. That's the loophole in standards. And I feel like I'm hearing it from women, a lot of women are creating unrealistic standards. Who's to say that nigga wants you? And I think we need to talk about that shit. I'm not saying don't have standards, have realistic ones. Y'all want to do with a car in the house, on an apartment, but all that 6-figure shit, bro, that's like 6% of men. No, 10% of black men is like a 10%. Then for the women, it's like even less for black women. So what are we really talking about? We chasing things that don't want us. Work on yourself, grind, and you get into that position where you attract those people that you said you want. You wouldn't have to ask for the universe to give it to you. And that's what dating, and that's just my basic sum of like dating while 30 is. It just feel like everybody's being combative, not willing to, and they have this idea that settling is a bad thing. No, it's not. It's a bad thing because you don't want to tell the other people that you took those shorts. You can't explain that to your friends. It's not you being yourself. Why not take the good guy that treats you good, but his flaw might be he disorganized. Nah, I need a nigga that's tall, that's da-da-da-da. We all gotta pick a flaw. The idea of a partnership is to fill in your partner's flaw. I've dated women that forget a lot. I date women that forget like literally, like, yo, you forgot the thing upstairs. And you have to, as a man, as the partner, let me go get it for her. She's a beautiful person, but she has a bad memory. Take your flaw and be humble about your flaw. For the women, oh, he cheat me to the eye. He might got a small dick. You comparing your situation to your friends. Yeah, my man got it, but he treats her like shit. She calling you at 2 a.m. FaceTiming you, or how she think he cheating. This the type of niggas y'all want. Y'all not willing to take y'all flaw for the sense of happiness. Y'all worrying about sex. It's other things you could do to make up for a nigga not having a strength. And I know this is a funny conversation, but for a nigga having a strength is all type of toys. Do you really want happiness or do you want drama? Black people, I'm starting to question what we think is love, like I was saying earlier. This shit has been problematic to us. We want the things that fit our friend standards instead of fucking ours. A lot of y'all won't date big people because you have to tell your fucking friends that your girlfriend is fat. But what about if she make you fucking happy? No. You gonna drop her. She treats you great. And get the skinny chick that's pretty, that has a lot of insecurities or abandonment issues, just to tell you, y'all niggas gotta start being yourself and who y'all are at the core. Stop letting social media create your reality. Like you think that you deserve and gotta have this lifestyle. Stop believing the lies. Who's to say that these people on Instagram are not going through depression? They showing you the highlights of their life. They're not going to show you the lowlights. Because that's not what Instagram is for. It's to gain attraction to a lifestyle. We all sitting here fooling each other. And that's why it's so hard for me to date at 30, because my understanding to life is different. Why cry over something over 5 minutes if it's not even going to be in the future? Let's talk about it. Let's get over it. You mad? Let's talk about it. Everybody don't operate like that. I'm not looking at you as less. Let's talk about it. Let's be progressive. Start handling this shit like adults. Accept your flaws when you date. Accept that one flaw when you dating. Everybody's going to have one, bro. Y'all niggas just want to satisfy y'all fucking friends and y'all family. Satisfy your fucking self. It's okay to be alone. Stop telling a story about your exes as the victim all the time. And it might seem hypocritical like I did it in the beginning. No, I'm telling you where I went wrong. I could have started the insecurities. I could have started the waves in my last relationship fucking up. I could have provided a stable answer for a woman that's asking for reinsurance. Be alone. Start to look at these things. Why I love like this? My mother was treating me like this. Why I react to disrespect? My brother or my sister was disrespecting me. My family was disrespecting me. Learn yourself. Stop bringing those insecurities to your next relationship. Ladies, I'm talking to y'all. I'm talking to y'all directly, because men, I address men. Ladies, men will date you, but if I didn't cut you, I don't want that blood on me. I don't want the blood of another nigga that cut you. I'll help you heal, but if you take that bandage off and you continue to bleed on me, I'm out. We need to learn these things before we start dating and really engaging and having real relationships and babies and etc. We need to gain these levels of understanding, these levels of cognitive, before we start dating. I was talking to one of my exes, right? We mad cool. I chop it up with my ex because I always want to learn about myself back in the day. 17-year-old, 16-year-old me, 18-year-old me. They dated me back then. And she was like, yo, listen, Cornell, before you like really like get into a relationship, have a baby, you need to learn the woman's history, health history. I said, what you mean by that? Because it's certain situations that I don't want to, I think it's confidential, but like it's anonymous. Y'all would never know. But she was like, yo, listen, like a child could be born with autism. It could be from the count of the significant other's family, and I'm dealing with that on a personal level, and it's never random. Autism never ran in my family, but when I addressed him and asked him, well, does autism run, he got offended. That's out of his, and I was like, why he got offended? Because that's really out of his control. That's your family history. That's your family history. She's like, I don't know. And then he later came back to me. He was like, nah, it does run in my family. And now I'm dealing with an autistic kid, and I have to figure out how to be a mother to this child. She said, Cornell, make the right decisions when you making a baby with somebody. And we always worry about money. We never talk about family health. I know personally, if my child has diabetes, it came from my side. Diabetes running in my family. I'm without a doubt. And that was one of the realest conversations I had, because that's the last thing I think about when I'm making a baby with a girl. And it could be the last thing y'all think about as women too, having babies. All of us. Shit, we be fucking without condoms. And I think these things we need to think about, because these school systems is not designed for a lot of kids to grow, especially black kids, to grow out of autism. They want to keep them in that place of being stuck, outcasted. And the baby doesn't grow. It remains outcasted. So when they in regular classrooms, they getting clowned about being in a class with 6 people. We know. We grew up and we know how sped ed was. Some of them kids was in sped ed because they was bad and they had behavior issues. But what you do is you put them in a class full of, nothing was wrong with them. Their behavior was just bad because of their home. And you kept them in sped ed. They come up there and go chill with the kids that's not in sped ed, and we get the clowning them and fucking with them, and now they killers now. Be careful with this shit. Take these things serious, bro. Pay attention to the way shit is going today. I need your antennas up when we making these decisions at 30 years old. This is a 30-year-old conversation. Another thing I gained from I don't know if I spoke on it. Another thing I gained from therapy was a crazy, huge insecurity. I started to feel outcasted because my understanding was on a higher level. And I started to see the people in my dating pool, they like toxic shit. And I'm not that person no more. So it started to make me feel like, all right, in order to attract women, I have to be toxic again. And I can't activate old Corey. So I was getting very frustrated at one point. I couldn't activate him. He's not there. He's gone. So it had me discouraged from talking to people. Just regular, casual, small talk conversations, because I like conversations that are progressive and that can spark something. If it's ignorance, we can joke and laugh about ignorance. I'm a fucking jokester. All my conversations don't gotta be serious. It just can't be when we insulting each other and cursing at each other and talking about your mother don't like. I'm not going there with black women. I'm not at that place. So I'm gonna just end the podcast with this. Black brothers, we've been through a lot. We saw a lot. We dealt with a lot. Seek therapy. Black women, you too. Go to therapy. Have an understanding what to do before you move on. Don't play oblivious to red flags, black women. Black men too. I'm talking to my brothers and my sisters that are approaching 30. This shit is a different ballgame. This shit is serious. You can no longer lollygag how you used to. If you have a talent, use the shit to change your situation. Y'all inspire me to do this podcast shit. And during this podcast shit, I'ma talk to y'all, make y'all laugh. I'ma have ignorant moments. I'ma have happy moments. I'ma have moments of realism. I'ma have all type of moments. It's gonna be an emotional roller coaster. But I thank you for your support. I thank you for y'all watching my growth. I thank y'all for motivating me. Because I take hiatus and I get very discouraged with this podcast shit because it doesn't get the reaction I want sometimes. That's why I keep putting Corey Cash podcast email, anything. I want y'all to send me stories so I have things to talk about on the podcast, because I want to put a segment called That's Spicy, where I just read off women's situations or men's situations and we talk about it, give advice, joke about it. It's going to remain anonymous. If you support me, go to the Apple app, rate my podcast 5 stars and leave a comment. I'm trying to pop up in the algorithms. I'm trying to take this shit serious and make it somewhere. I can no longer sit on this talent. I need y'all help to do this shit. I need y'all help. I need feedback. I need y'all, when y'all listening to the podcast, post this shit. Tag me. Put people on. Spread the word with me. Do y'all groundwork. Y'all groundwork, cause it can stop at just a listen, but share the shit. Subscribe to the YouTube if you want to see it in a video. Yo, Corey, talk about this. Inbox me. So I have a number that if you don't like emailing, because emailing might not be convenient for you, you could I'm gonna put the number in the bio. It's 646-475-6822. 475-6822 is gonna be in the bio as well. I need y'all to send me like stories, advice. Yo, engagement. I just need the engagement. I need y'all to tell me I'm doing good. I need y'all to get on my case when I'm not putting out a podcast. Hit me up. Even if you listen to it, don't listen to it on the low. Tag me. Let me know. I need feedback. I put this shit out to the world. I get like 8 people that write me. Yo, I like this episode. I need the rest of the people that's low-key listening to it. Bro, I'm a humble nigga. Hit me up. Let me know about the podcast, bro. I hope this was insightful for y'all. I was told to do this 30-year podcast. Y'all enjoy y'all day. And thanks for the listen. And please go support. Thank you.